This is the next project we have going here, the kitchen floor. I'm gonna just try to do it the simple way today. It's a lot of work to take up these brass hammer down carpet tack strips, and I don't want to take them up because it's hard to get it down. The carpet is probably going to get changed in the next 5 years. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut and glue this new linoleum down tight to that hammer down brass carpet strip. And then when a new carpet gets in, they can replace that and just lip the new hammer down right over the new layer of vinyl flooring. And so we're not going to remove the cabinets, but we are going to take out the kickboards, and we will lay flooring right next. We'll cut it right into the edge of the cabinets here and under the dishwasher. We took out the dishwasher side panel so that we can run the floor under that as a single piece. Watch your step. And so anyway, we'll do that, and I think all we need is a 6x9 piece, but we'll probably just have to get something in a 12-foot sheet. So, all right, so that is it. And then what we have here is we have some mortar spread over the holes that tenants have made in the floor, and we've got that with tape, mud tape and mortar, so that will stick to that, flatten out the holes. The mortar or tape will hold it together, and we will just glue right over the entire floor here so that it's nice and adhered well. Okay, so that is the next project, but I am very happy with what is going on in here with the tile. The tile looks awesome. Some people don't think so, but it doesn't matter what other people think. I'm the one who's doing it. So you can see how we have it. It just fit really nicely into everything here. Okay. And we have to put a new ring on for the toilet because this one here is rusted out. Okay. All right. Stay tuned for more exciting home remodeling. Okay, let's see how that drain's doing. Oh, that's pretty good. I think I'll walk over there and look. Okay, so you can see that it's definitely working and flowing. So good deal. I'm happy with it. It will just flow all the way down and out the driveway.
And I never would have thought those would have come back this year.
Yeah,
I pruned them off ground level months ago.
Yeah, it's actually nice they're coming out too.
Yeah.
And then it looks like worms are coming to the surface all around here.
These weeds are dying.
Are they?
Yeah, they're not brown. They're
Yeah,
dying.
stupid squirrels coming in here and digging up my yard though.
Look how they're wilting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, railing, it does look pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of sets it off.
All right, we are starting a tile job here in the basement bathroom, and it is going directly onto a concrete floor. The floor used to have linoleum, and to smooth out the floor, there was a skim coat of Fix-All on the floors. Fix-All used to be a standard way of flattening out rough floors as an underlayment, and you would just spread that out on your floor and try to get it as smooth as possible with a wide trowel. Sand it out if you had to, carve it with a knife while it was still setting, and then lay your linoleum over that. The problem with Fix-All is that it absorbs moisture, it feeds bacteria and mold, and it will stain through on your white or vinyl floors. So what we have going here is a 5-inch carbide floor grinder connected up to the vacuum with a dust collection hood on it. And I was using the Makita cordless grinder to begin, but it just didn't have the power to do this. It kept shutting off. So what I did is I got my Metabo grinder. It's a 120 volt plug-in version, and we put the shroud and vacuum connection on that. And so you see that we have gone over the entire floor in there with the diamond carbide bit and surfaced the entire area, got all that Fix-All up off the floor. And now I'm vacuuming everything out of there, making sure it's all nice and clean. Give it a quick check for smoothness here. And then we are going to measure it and check to make sure that I have this 1-inch square slate tile that has been in storage for about 20 years. It was left over from a job and just never got used. And I've always wanted to use it because I thought it was a nice enough tile. It was expensive tile. So what I'm doing is I'm fitting all the pieces that I have, and as it works out, I have exactly enough to be able to do it with just a few little sections of extra. So lucky me, I have a free floor to install. So we have everything test fitted right now, and I'm going to start sorting the thickness of the sheets. Thicker ones, thin ones in the corner, and thicker ones in the pile I'm filling up right now. And then what I have, the unknown mechanic is mixing up a bucket of VersaBond thin set mortar, and that is a good quality mortar to be putting on the floors here. So I am putting it down with a 1/4 inch wide, 1/4 inch deep notched trowel, and I am working it in there. I'm going to go forward and backward a few times and make sure that the mortar is worked well into the floor. And we're using a little bit of a thicker mix than normal, and the reason for that is with these 1-inch tiles, when you press the tiles down into the floor, you can get an excessive amount of mortar coming up through the tiles. So we're making it a little bit thicker, and then we are patting the tiles down into the mortar very nicely, making sure that everything is set. So I am spreading the mortar over there by the toilet and around the drain for the toilet. And then I'm going to fit the sheets into the corner there. So there goes the first one. And the next sheet I'm going to cut off 2 rows, and it will fit in there with about we'll have to cut 1/2-inch pieces of tile to fit in against the wall there later. So there you see I've cut the tiles off, 2 rows off, and it fits right in there. It's kind of unfortunate that that towel bar is right where we're trying to see what I'm doing right now. Such is life. C'est la vie. Okay, so you see me, I am working the mortar again. And there goes the next piece up against the bathtub. So this is going to be really nice. The old floor in there, the old linoleum, had actually delaminated from the fix-all and concrete that was on the floor. So you had these free floating spots in the floor where the glue had failed and wasn't holding the sheet floor down any longer. So you see me now, I am fitting the little pieces in around the toilet flange, and the unknown mechanic is cutting the pieces that I mark for him. And I'm going to fit this last little section of sheet in there between the other two. There's the pieces that he just cut, and there's the piece that I'm going to fit in there. I'm not sure where I am. Okay, it's the piece on the back side of the flange. So I'm putting in that 3 pieces, little section of sheet, and then we'll fit the small pieces in after that. So this floor will be ready for grout tomorrow. We're going to let all the mortar set up overnight. Okay, so I'm fitting in those little pieces around the corners in the tight spots around the toilet again. Fine adjustments. There are pieces that are never going to be seen because the toilet is going to cover them anyway. But that's just kind of the way I do things. I just like to have everything proper. So I had to make an adjustment on that last sheet of tile there. I lifted it out, freshened up the mortar, and then put that back in. I needed to reposition that because I have the tile on the row before this that I laid that against, but I didn't have a complete row on the other side of it, and I needed to match up to that where the end of the installation is right now. So you see I'm spreading some more mortar in there and just making a couple of adjustments to pieces that are in there. It's very tedious. You just want to make sure you get everything just right, because once you've done it, it's literally set in concrete. I mean, it is mortar, which is a form of concrete, and when you have stuff in, it's not going to move. You're going to have to break it out, and that's not what you want to do. Okay, so there we go, working some more mortar into the floor, making sure we have good adhesion. And so I'm putting the sheets in, working my way across. Need a little more mortar there and against the wall. But I had to remove and reposition that sheet before so that it would match up the lines with the sheet that I am just about to install now. So I'm just getting the mortar worked in there. Excuse me. It's kind of an odd side to work. I'm right-handed, and that's at the left side of the wall. And so it's just kind of hard to work there. It's one of the things about tile is you find yourself having to work in odd positions that may not be as easy as you would like. Okay, so we got that row done, and now we're going to start loading up more mortar onto the floor. When you're working on the concrete, always make sure that you work the mortar into the floor. You want to have good contact, good adhesion. And so I got to throw a couple more dabs of mortar down there. And when you are doing the tile, you always want to start from the same side and work your way across. You wouldn't start from the tub and go across and then start from the wall and come back the other way. You always want to start from the same reference line. Okay, so I install each sheet, 12-inch square sheet of the slate tile, and then I give everything a good pat down, and I look very closely to make sure that everything is down and flat, because the tiles can shift a little bit as you're patting them down. Some of them may be tilted this way or that, so you want to just make sure that you get everything flattened out. Take your time, do it right. So we're just about done with the installation here. We're coming up to the door and the hammer down carpet bar. And the full sheets end 2 rows from the carpet bar. And it's not quite straight, so the first section right next to where the pocket door is, that will take a full 2 rows of tile beyond the sheet you see right now. And then the next section will have to have about an 1/8 inch cut out of it, and the section after that would be a little bit more. So there's just a slight taper in that last little row of tiles right next to the carpet bar. And you'll be able to see that at the end of the video. So that last little section there in the corner, that is where the end of the tile that I have is, and I have a couple of odd pieces of tile that make up a sheet, one full sheet. So we're using those separate pieces to finish out the floor. And so it worked out just perfectly that I had exactly the right amount of tile to be able to complete the job. How often does that happen? That was pretty lucky. And so now I'm doing those last little pieces next to the carpet strip. Just got to take time, make sure that things are done right, get some fresh mortar worked in there. I had to use a 1.5 inch trowel to spread mortar around in there. And I'm also using my utility knife to clean out some mortar that splooged up between, as the tiles got pressed down, mortar came up between them. And so that's just one of the things you need to keep an eye out for. The grout that I'm going to use is platinum color, and that is fairly close to the same color as concrete. So grouting with any mortar in the tile is going to be a very forgiving process, because there's not very much noticeable difference between the two. They're the same color almost. So I've got just the last couple of pieces that are going in right now. And we'll actually, if you look at the left by the toilet, you see the little toilet valve coming out of the wall. We're going to put a strip of tile in there, and the first row will be a full strip, and then it will change to a little thinner tapered strip as we go into the corner. So it's almost a full tile out there at the middle of the room, and as you get into the corner, it's down to about 3/8 of an inch. So I don't really want to walk on the tile, but I do have to get out there on it. And so what I do is I put a piece of tile under my knee pad, and That way I can get out there without disturbing the tile. Okay, so I'm just fitting a couple of little pieces around the door there. And now we're going to start putting the pieces in right there. So that was the first strip. Now we're going to have another strip. So it's working out very nicely. The mortar's going to hold everything down really nicely, and then tomorrow when we put the grout in there, the grout will pretty well lock everything in place. And then we'll let the grout sit overnight again, and the following day we'll put the toilet and pedestal sink back in place. And we'll have a full functional bathroom again. And there you go. I am done. Just gonna fit the last couple of pieces down there. Okay, and now I am going to turn the video back over to real time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, now there you go. Tile floor is done. And since I have had this tile for 20 years in storage from an old job, that feels good to finally use it. And it's good tile. This is slate, 1-inch slate. Okay, and the bathroom itself is like an almond.